I don't know how many times the biopic has ever worked. Oh, by the way, Roy, I hope you're TiVoing tonight. There is, on PBS, I think it's at 9:30, a kind of, I don't know what, like a fantasy type of thing on what if Hitler won? What if Germany would have put it off? And I know and I just went, I don't know, it'd be bad. And then I said, you know what? Neither way, I'm going to actually TiVo this and watch it.
I'll definitely have to get that ready for you.
I just hope it doesn't say everything would have been better.
I know. As you know, they show post-war Hitler world, and everyone's got the jetpacks on, and there's supercars flying about, and just crystal cities.
I thought that they already did this with Starship Troopers. That looked like Hitler won. No one ever brought that up about Starship Troopers, that it looked like that they were all Nazis.
They look like Nazis, and the big thing was earning citizenship.
Right.
If you went into the military, you could earn citizenship. You weren't a citizen unless you actually applied and got it.
So I guess that when they made that Starship Troopers, they thought they were going to make a lot of them.
Yeah.
And we just kind of ended with a to be continued. We have the fat bug. And that's it. And then you never really saw any of those people. Now Doogie Howser, who was in that movie, isn't doing cabaret in girls' underwear.
They did. They tried to sell it to us that way. Starship Troopers was going to be another Star Wars, and we'll just get a huge amount of sequels out of this. I think the problem was that they actually showed pups in the movie, and then you just kind of took out the kid audience there.
Well, you don't think that was too scary with those big bugs for kids? I don't think.
Oh, the bugs were frightening, yes.
I don't think anybody would take a 4-year-old with giant bugs eating people up.
Just squishing people.
They wouldn't be going, this is great for a kid. Wait a minute, look at the teeth. No. Let's get out of here, Junior.
I just don't think it fell into either world. It wasn't cool enough for hardcore people to like it, and it wasn't fun enough for kids to enjoy it.
Actually, I liked it. Did you like it?
Oh, I liked it. But I wasn't crying that they didn't make another one.
No, you pretty much forgot about it other than the giant bugs. But the whole thing of it did seem like they were all Nazis. Say, Ethan, you're in Fez.
Hey, guys, Butthead.
Hey, my buddy.
Hey, what's up? This idea for the What If Hitler Won movie, I think it's taken on a book written by Philip K. Dick, and he wrote the Blade Runner movie, too.
So maybe we'll have robots if Hitler had won. Replicants.
Who wrote the book, the Starship Trooper book?
Oh, I don't know. That movie
was somebody fairly famous. All right, see you later. I don't know. I thought that this was just like a little docudrama. What if Hitler won?
And then we move on. He invades America.
That is one of those great questions that you can play sometimes at parties. What if the South won? What if JFK never was assassinated? How would everything have changed? Would there have been the big 60s hippies being against, or would they have been huge JFK fans? That was the young people that kind of liked him.
Those are cool what ifs. I think if the South had won, I think there just would have been Civil War II.
We just never would have stopped?
I think we just would have kept fighting and fighting.
Or maybe it would have been even other southern states would have tried to break off, and we'd just get further from the South. Well, here's the weird thing if the South would have won. There would be no slavery now, because there's no slavery anywhere in the world.
Right, we would have outgrown that anyway.
We were pretty much the last people to have it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you're so stupid. So, other than that, would there have been like a huge difference in lifestyle, let's say between, Minnesota and North Carolina? Or would it seem like it does today?
I think it probably would have still seemed like it was today, because I don't think in the Civil War, the South, if they had won and won their independence, it just would have been another country. It wasn't like they were going to keep marching into the North and take over the whole thing.
Yeah, but other than the one slavery issue, what else was going on? Was there any other big differences that they had?
I think the only thing was states' rights is what they tried to use as their cover for slavery.
Right.
The states being allowed to decide on issues. Just that the foremost one was having black people.
Here is
free labor.
One thing that they agreed on. Jeff, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, I got the writer of Starship Troopers for you. It was
Robert Heinlein.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Okay.
All right, see you later. See, that's the kind of producer I need, Roy.
The callers. They always beat the producers.
Rory actually said to me that he handed me a thing that said he thought that movie was written by Charlie Brown. I had to write back, that's a cartoon character.
Yeah, you just don't guess, okay? If you don't know, don't try to guess.
All right, and you know what? The whole staff has to come up with something to, just like that what if thing, everybody has to have one that would kind of just make me and Fez go,
And just ponder. Maybe tonight we'll ponder some things.
Yeah, let's ponder a little bit tonight. Ponderous, that's how the show's going to go. 866-277-4969 if you want to get involved. Here's Chris, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey.
Hey, Chris.
How you doing?
Good. What can we do for you?
I got the name of that book he was talking about. It's called Fatherland. And it was made into a movie with Rutger Hauer. Remember him?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Anyway, it's an interesting book because Kennedy isn't assassinated, and it's kind of an interesting little thing.
Now, Kennedy isn't assassinated, but Hitler wins.
Right, exactly.
So Kennedy is a Nazi?
No. Kennedy
Like
is the president of the United States.
Okay.
So we still have presidents, even though Hitler won.
Well, I guess Germany didn't take over the United States?
No, he stopped in France and kind of bombed Britain for a little bit more, but then stopped there. And we gave him Poland and France and Italy, and he kind of owns most of Europe. And we didn't really push.
I would have given him Britain, too.
So, anyway, I thought I'd pass it along.
All right, thanks a lot. We'll check that out.
If I was Hitler, I would have wanted Britain. Why stop when you don't have the set?
I don't think he could stand that Britain. He hated them.
He really did. He knew he'd have to visit.
I know one thing. If Hitler would have won, that Kraftwerk would have been a much bigger band. They would have been huge.
866-277-4969. Talking about some what-ifs tonight.
All right, let's go to Hawk first. Hawk,
oh, God.
Why don't you make me and Fez ponder?
What if houses were made of cheese?
All right, what if, the Cold War never ended and the Soviet Union didn't dissolve and we had a war with them? The U.S. against the Soviet Union.
What do you think would have happened? We'd have crushed them.
No, I think we would have canceled each other out, and then some of the smaller countries, like Australia and Africa, would have rose up.
What? First of all, Africa is a huge continent.
Well, yeah.
Would Australia small?
Would it be able to say? Be better to say, what if capitalism failed and communism succeeded?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Bush is trying to figure that out right now. That's his experiment.
It's the 4-year experiment.
Don't say that in front of Mikey D, though. You'll be in big trouble with him. Here is John. John, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, John.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Buddy.
The Philip K. Dick book was called A Man in the High Castle. And he had a what if about Japan ruling America, and they had marijuana in packaged cigarettes.
All right, that's kind of interesting. What if marijuana was legal? How different would everything be? Now, Japan did rule America during the 1980s, during the Reagan administration that, some people look back on with such great fondness. All right, thank you very much, John. All right, there's one for you, Fuzzy. What if pot were legal? Would it be a really different society than we live in right now?
I don't think it would be all that different. Prisons would be less crowded.
Prisons would be less crowded. We'd probably sell more baked goods. But other than that, why are we still keeping pot illegal?
Can you see a big difference that it would be in the country if pot was legal?
And I think that a lot of people who don't smoke pot anymore would not suddenly go back to it. That they're not smoking pot because it's illegal. I think that you're not smoking pot because you don't need your head afterward like that. Either you're the type of person who likes to be high and you only get a little relaxed from it and laid back, or you're the type of person who gets whacked and paranoid and doesn't want that feeling.
It would become like anything else. I mean, cigarettes are legal, and not everyone feels the need to run out and smoke. Same with drinking.
Right. But are we ever going to have, in either party, a president with the balls or a Congress with the balls to go, you know what, this is stupid, and it doesn't matter, and plus we can make pants out of it? I don't think we will, not in our lifetime.
No, never. Never, ever.
Here is our buddy Jonathan. Jonathan, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to say that if pot were legal, things would be absolutely no different at all at my house.
All right. Thank you very much.
Good one.
Except for maybe cheaper.
I wonder if we get better quality.
How could you not? Then you could actually have people working on it that, weren't having to do it in some basement or greenhouse. I mean,
Growing it in their tub.
The whole hydroponic thing, look how far pots come from the 70s.
And if we developed that industry, we would actually probably make more strides in agriculture growing other things. We'd learn from growing the pot.
Because that would be the cash crop.
Right. And you'd learn with the hydroponics, you'd study that more and learn how to make more food for maybe starving countries.
We'd send them pot.
Oh, that would be the worst, to send them pot when they're already hungry.
Well, we could send them hash cakes. All right, 866-277-4969 if you want to get in on this. 866-277-4969. I'm going to ponder a little bit tonight. Here's our own Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy, what's your Wonder Boy what if?
Sometimes I wonder what the country would be like if women had never gotten the right to vote. I think that, for sure, we definitely would have had a lot of different presidents, and I think that would have changed the course of, a lot of different things.
So what are we doing with the women? Why we're not letting them vote? Why wouldn't they get the right?
Well, because they didn't have one. They didn't have it at first.
No,
so they made a big push. I'm saying if that push hadn't
So you're saying
successful,
the soccer moms would have never elected Clinton?
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my head. Totally, there would have been no President Clinton, and I just wonder what kind of effects that would have had on our country, and what kind of effect it would have had on China, and there's I think a lot of far-reaching.
China? Why China?
Well, he was selling them secrets like it was going out of style. You know what I mean? President Clinton.
The women?
Oh, God.
No, they weren't.
Oh.
Go lay down.
I thought you meant the women voters were selling secrets to China.
Such an idiot. Here's Russell. Russell, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Russell.
Hey, what's happening?
Yeah.
Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I was thinking that, if legalization of marijuana would actually bring you another viable alternative in the textile industry, because if you remember back, it was the cotton lobby who was actually able to get the Reefer Madness movies and things of that nature brought across, so that, back then, a lot of clothes, a lot of other textiles were made out of hemp, which is a byproduct of marijuana.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and they've still done a great job of marketing the pot scare stuff, because, calling it a gateway drug, which literally, so is alcohol.
Yeah, gateway drug, and of course with the latest commercials of it leads to terrorism.
I think they've already yanked those commercials.
They did. They found out totally ineffective. Not only ineffective, but insulting.
Yeah, it insulted people who really don't get high.
Well, I think that you've had more people killed through alcoholism.
Oh, absolutely.
Through the byproduct of what alcohol does to those who are, impaired. I mean, I've heard of somebody who was high because everybody I've ever known that smoked marijuana couldn't drive the speed limit.
Right, but you know what? I don't think that we're going to have less alcoholics because we've legalized pot. I don't think you're going to have people going, well, since I can't get a joint, I'm not going to have my martini. No, it's two different drugs. And I honestly think two different styles of people.
Yeah, people are going to do what they do anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, people that overeat are going to eat food.
Right.
People Bill Bennett, who's gambling, is going to go out and gamble.
He's a gambling, rambling man. You ain't going to stop him.
Everyone's going to find their own vice anyway. If marijuana's not it, the fact that it's legal isn't going to make it enter your life.
All right, here's Tom. Tom, you're on Run and Fez.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, buddy.
If Patton would have been allowed to go in and defeat the Soviet Union, we wouldn't have gone to the moon, because everything we've pretty much done since then has been to keep up with the Russians. And all of our advances, computer technology and everything has come out of the NASA program, so everything would have been stunted.
That's kind of interesting that you put it that way, that really the competition that we have had with the Russians helped us in a lot of places.
Yeah, we were forced to actually start working on things and get the space program underway to catch up and then beat them to the moon.
And see if our Germans were as good as their Germans.
And they were better.
Because if Hitler would have won, Germany would literally have space stations on the moon right now.
Oh, yeah, they would have conquered it by now.
But he did come up with an interesting point that now that the United States doesn't have that one guy to go, look, we're going to do better than them. We're going to have a better everything. Maybe we're getting weird.
It seems like we had that nice big rush of technology, and now we kind of had a slowdown.
Well, look at one of the reasons. People now, unlike the 60s, they hate NASA. And I don't get it. I still love it.
I mean, in the 10 years of the 60s, when President Kennedy said, we're going to put a man on the moon in this decade. And we did it. And we got there in 1969. Then you look at the space shuttle program, where, when did that start? Like maybe 1980, 1981, when they launched the first one? And 20 years later, we're still par for the course. We haven't done really, we're building that space station, we had the Hubble, but we really haven't advanced from the shuttle in 20 years.
And they're actually designing a new shuttle, but they say it's not going to be ready for another 10, 15 years.
Then we got to the moon in 10. We had 20 with nothing.
Well, see, that's the problem, like with the space, with the shuttle. It's not the same kind of thing. Let's see how far we can go now. Yeah. Now you're just hanging around, and we've done things like, the fact that you have cell phones and all that have to do with all the stuff that came out of NASA, but you can't really take a look on TV and go, holy F, we're on Mars now. That's what people want.
Exactly. And if one of these presidential candidates, we talked about them last night, if one of them would just say, I want to put a man on Mars in the next 10 years.
Or, something easier, I want to take all of our nuclear warheads and cut the moon in half.
Something.
Blow that to S.
Give us something to dream about.
Right.
Give us a goal.
Like the destruction of the moon, where finally the tides would be under our control.
Something to look forward to.
What if the tides were under our control?
That would be nice.
And you know what? I would run on that platform, and the only thing it would say was, who's with me? And you would just see a picture of me with a big exploding moon. And literally said, who's with me?
At the convention, we'd be chanting, we're with you, we're with you.
And then occasionally I'd stop and say, pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to dine out under a dark sky every night. Who's with me?
We're with you, we're with you.
If you would please look to the heavens.
Wow, instead of dropping balloons at the convention, you're dropping the moon.
Well, my presidency is complete. I have no other ideas and nothing left to give.
When President Reagan made his inauguration speech and announced that 10 minutes ago our hostages left Iran, yours would be 10 minutes ago I have launched the missiles that are blowing up the moon.
Please look skyward. All right, we have hit one snag. Looks like Florida's underwater.
Okay, it's coming down in bigger pieces than we imagined. Ooh, ow.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Watch out.
Here's Dave. Dave, you're on the Run of Fez show.
22192, guys.
Hooah!
Hooah! Hey, I just wondered if you guys saw that Discovery documentary a few months back that really gave quite a bit of credence to the old rumor that they never made it to the moon. Did you guys see that? They had the film, the backdrop, and how the shadows never changed and the rocks never changed.
It's just the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I know, but they actually gave it credence on the Discovery Channel.
Yes,
they put a big argument on it.
And you turn on the Art Bell show, and you'll hear some lunatic trying to tell you that the president's a vampire, and he believes it too. But we went to the moon.
I hear you, but I wonder whether or not it's kind of like whether or not Lee Harvey Oswald was the only one that shot JFK, you know?
No.
You never know.
They shot him from the moon.
Yeah. Never
later,
again.
Guys.
See you later.
Not under this administration.
This moonless administration.
866-277-4969.
You got to make Fez and I ponder tonight. 866-277-4969. Mikey D, do you have one from the Republican point of view?
No, but it's on the musical side. What if John Lennon was never killed? What would have happened to the music? Would the Beatles have gotten back together?
No.
Would they?
George Harrison still died?
Would Paul McCartney still be a big draw as he is now?
Why wouldn't he be a big draw?
Because he probably...
now he has the balls to do the Beatles song.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't ever see those guys getting back together, do you?
I thought they would. I thought they would, and especially when John was assassinated, he was just coming back.
Right.
You know, and he was making good music, so I liked it.
I mean, still half of his music would belong to his chick. I had a problem with that.
Yeah.
You're listening to a John Lennon song, and all of a sudden it's Yoko.
And then you hear some screaming. So.
Yeah, they're screechy. Screecherton.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Fez? The Beatles would have ever gotten back together?
I think they probably would have gotten back together for some sort of occasion.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does get back together sooner or later. That is true. But and you know what? The other weird thing is, it seemed like it was a long time, but it was only 10 years. By the time, 11 years. So maybe, they would have done something. But we all would have been disappointed, I'll tell you that much. You would have never really enjoyed it.
Well, just like when the three of them got back together, but I think John would have been...
I know, those were never huge events.
No, I mean, they came out with the 2 songs when they made that big, video, the anthology, with the 3 of them back together. But
I mean, the Free as a Bird thing.
Awful.
George Harrison, when he did all those years ago.
Right.
And McCartney and Ringo played on that. I mean, Ronnie's right where it probably would have been disappointing because even those mini reunions weren't big deals.
But without John Lennon, who's the smart one?
That's the thing.
Now Paul's the smart one.
John was the big guy. I mean, I thought he wrote most of the better songs.
Oh, see, now that's why you got Paul being so insecure and turning things around, because no one believes in him. He actually wrote yesterday. He's been trying to scream it. No one helped me write this. And then one just goes, God, you make me sick, Paul. You were the cute one, now you're the annoying one.
Now you're just disgusting one.
All right, we'll take a break. Let's do another break of this stuff, Fezzy.
All right, so what ifs?
Ponder.
Tonight we ponder on the Ron and Fez show. If you have a what-if scenario, we'd love to hear it. 866-277-4969.
Ron and Fez.
More smoking in the boys' room. There's a new sheriff in town. His name's Cameron.
I don't know. Maybe now with Cameron running things, maybe we can start to smoke in the studio the way we've always dreamed.
I think this is going to bring liquor back to WJFK.
Liquor? I didn't even guess it.
Remember to pay attention to the bumper music you're hearing now. Ozfest tickets are on the line. Ozfest 2003. You got to listen to all the bumper music. Then later on in the show, we'll tell you when to call in. And guess what the common theme is from all the bumper music selections.
All right, it's cold turkey and smoking in the boys' room. I'm going to say things you smoke.
Ooh, interesting.
Smoke turkey.
Sorry.
Be paying attention. Ozfest tickets on the line later on tonight. Right now, we're talking about what-if scenarios. Just doing some pondering on the Ron and Fez show. Those what-if questions. Here's one for you, Ronnie. What if Hinckley had succeeded and assassinated Ronald Reagan? Ronald Reagan had died 2 months into his administration.
I believe at that time Hinckley would have been made president or king by the people of the United States. What does that mean? Why would you even wish such a thing?
I'm not wishing that. I'm saying what if. I'm not wishing.
Oh. All right, then his vice president, George Bush, would have taken over.
So George Bush would have been in the White House 4 years earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Everything would have happened 4 years earlier. Clinton would have gone in 88.
No, it would have happened 8 years earlier, really, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Reagan had 8 years.
Yeah. So Reagan literally almost had an extra 8 years. So we would have attacked Iraq like 82, 83.
Right.
I honestly believe there would have been no MTV.
Wow.
I think it would have went that far.
So Clinton would have been in office 8 years earlier. Monica Lewinsky would have been 12?
That's so hot.
And he would have been with Monica?
I mean, it's kind of interesting because, of course, George Bush would have had different problems in, 80 than he would have had in 88 and 89. So he would have maybe had just a totally different presidency.
So what could have happened was there might not have been a Gulf War I, which would have canceled out the revenge factor for Gulf War II.
And the economy would not have been blamed on George because he still would have had a president before with bad economy rather than one that people are going, hey, what happened? We were partying. We were partying like it was 1989 here for a second. Now you're in.
So they're very interesting.
Here is Mitch. Mitch, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, buddy.
What do you got, Mitch?
Well, what if the whole Monica Lewinsky thing never happened? Then Bush probably wouldn't have been elected because people would have still supported Gore that little more than he needed.
No, I don't think so because I think Monica was just the latest, and if You know, if you're on the Democratic side, you would say harassment. If you're on the Republican side, you would have said scandals. But President Clinton never kind of got left alone. He always had something bother him the whole time he was in office.
And I don't think with Al Gore and his campaign, I think he was so trying to prove he was his own man anyway,
right,
that I don't think the Monica situation was the sole problem there. I think he would have distanced himself from Clinton anyway, just to prove he was on his own, and he still would have lost in the same fashion.
But maybe he would have taken a little credit for how well the country was doing, rather than act like he wasn't there for 8 years.
He acted like he was ashamed of it and started saying power to the people.
Yeah,
and at that point, people had some money in the bank, and they felt powerful.
Here is Ryan. Ryan, you're on Fez.
Hey, guys, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, buddy.
Buddy.
All right, check this out. What if we would have lost the French and Indian War? There would have been no 13 colonies. We would all be basically what we all hate today, and that's the French.
We would all be French.
That's scary, isn't it?
Well, except for the pastries. I think you have to, no matter how you feel about them personally, those pastries are out of sight.
Just delicious. I don't know how long we would have been French. I can't imagine being French very long.
Why?
They would never have a hold on us.
Well, you know, that's kind of interesting. I mean, nobody could keep a hold on us, but that would have been like in the style that we were built instead of London's, you know? That would have been, we'd have been set up with as like, instead of trying to everybody copy London, we'd have been copying Paris and their way of doing things. We might be taking long naps. We might not even, relaxing a little more.
Oh, man. And we missed out on it.
I personally would think better cinema.
And Bastille Day would be a much bigger deal here.
Here is Reggie. Reggie, you're on Ron and Fez. We're playing What If.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Reggie, what's your what if?
What if we didn't have to worry about currency, money? If you look at the Star Trek movies, everybody works for the betterment of people. Nobody gets paid.
I think on Star Trek they do get paid. It's just not in paper money.
No, they don't get paid at all.
So they're like socialists?
Yeah. And in fact, in one show, they even said nobody gets paid money. Everybody's just work for the development of the human race.
I'm not buying that.
I mean, where you get your shoes from? You just show up wherever you want your shoes?
Yeah, you go wherever you want to go. They just give you the shoe that you need.
Well, then why be a lousy shoemaker and knock yourself out when everyone could just be king?
Yeah, who's going to be the garbage man?
I mean, if everything's free, no one's going to want to do that job.
Everything's free. Nobody has to. There'll be no murder because nobody needs money. Everybody just do what they need. You won't need 20 pair of shoes or 10 houses because you don't have the money to worry about it. Everybody get their own house. There's no homeless people. There's none of that.
So you're saying there would be no mansions, no houses would be one better than the other?
Right. No, there'll still be, because of your statue in life, like you're the president, that you have a better house than anybody else. But
why would you? Why would you deserve a better house if everything is free?
But there's no motivation.
Of course, the motivation is the survival of humanity.
Now, I like the idea of that. I would be all for that if everybody just wanted to kind of serve each other. But somewhere along the line, you've got to keep score. Even communist countries have cash.
No, there won't be no need for anything. There won't be no need for communism, none of that.
All right, so I go to the car dealer and I just pick up any car I want. Now, why should he stay there?
Why would you have 3 or 4 cars?
Well, even if I'm getting one.
You'll need one to go to your betterment job.
You get what you need and do what you have to do.
All right, I got to watch
because you don't have that mentality where I'm going to need a better car than anybody else.
Yeah. I still, I want some decent rims on my wheels. I want to look good. All right, thanks, Reggie. All right, Reggie. Oh, man, now I feel like I smoked one of those free joints.
I don't even think they do that on Star Trek. I think Star Trek has money.
I never watch enough Star Trek to know, but here's Mike. He's a Trekker, Fez, because we don't call him Trekkies. Here's Mike. You're on the air.
I'm not a Trekker. Happy birthday, Fezzy.
Oh, thank you, buddy. You're the first one tonight. Appreciate it.
Yeah. You know what that was? Is they were on a ship. So, like I was saying before, who's going to get a big house? Where are you going to put it? They were on a ship, and everyone did what they had to do to get by, and everything was provided by the government, like he was saying.
All right, so that's just on the ship.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, that's why you didn't see them exchange money, because obviously you can go and get your meals, again, like the government provides you.
But what if you wanted a cigarette?
I'm sure they had cigarettes.
All right, but when the Star Trek people got back to Earth, they just didn't get free shoes and houses.
And cars.
Well, I'm sure Earth was like Earth is here, but in Star Trek, they weren't around Earth. And in other planets, I mean, how are they? They didn't know what the exchange rate was or what they did for stuff on that planet.
What if the show had never gotten on the air?
We wouldn't have less geeks.
Right, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
Thank you, Mikey. All right.
And they do go back to Earth. They go back to Earth in just about every movie.
Who said that? Is that Hawk?
That's the Priceline.com guy.
Out of everybody here, which one do you think is the biggest Star Trek head?
I would say, I'm thinking in between Hawk and Wonder Boy, I'll go with Hawk.
I'm thinking it's between Hawk and Mikey D.
Ooh. I bet Hawk is the Star Trek.
All right, let's call Hawk and Mikey D into the room.
Come on in, Hawk.
And we'll go with Hawk first. Hawk, are you a Star Trek fan?
Didn't like the original, but I loved all the other ones. I loved
so stupid.
He's into Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine had a spiritual aspect to it. It was so cool. That was my favorite by far.
You told us on this show you don't even believe in God.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing, because it's more of like a Buddhist type energy field type. I don't know. Deep Space Nine definitely was kind of weird with Odo, and he wanted to go back and find his people. And
I never saw any of those. But how can you're the first human I've ever heard say, I didn't like the first one, loved all the Star Trek since. All right, Mikey, Star Trek fan?
Not really, but more after I used to watch it just to see which guy was going to get killed. That extra guy.
Right, that's not a Star Trek fan.
That's the.
All right, so Fezzi, again, you win.
Yeah, I know my boys.
Yeah, you do.
Inside now. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh.
Hawk just looks like the Star Trek geek type.
Spent a lot of time indoors.
Yeah, your childhood.
Do me a favor, Roy, and touch his crotch for me. Just look how he was.
All right.
That's where your peachy is. Right there.
Let me just say.
He's back to the corner. He's strapped like a rat covering himself.
Yeah, you know what we'll do when we got some girls coming in tonight? We'll let them touch his peach.
Nice.
Right, here's Dominique here on Run of Fez.
Hey, Dominique.
Hey. Now, how you doing, my brother Tori? It's my birthday, too, today.
Wow. Happy couple
like women, though,
May 7th babies.
You know who else is
what happened if white people were slaves here in America
Really?
and black people owned them back in the day?
That's right. Say that again, Dominique.
I said, what would you think would happen if white people were the slaves and black people owned them back in the day? How would that have went?
Didn't John Travolta do that movie?
I think we would have had a lot less things planted because white people are not really good at getting physical work done. Was that a movie, Fez, that John Travolta did?
I think it was. It was some sort of John Travolta movie. I can't think of the name of it.
Whites were the minority or something?
Right. And it was a whole what-if movie.
Yeah.
If whites were the minority. Not the slaves, but just the minority. It didn't have the advantages.
I'm the minority in my neighborhood, and no one ever brings it up to me.
It's not pointed out on a regular basis?
No. Not like we do when we're the majority.
866-277-4969 is the toll-free phone number.
I think Rory had one of these, and he's been dying to get in. And Rory, what's yours?
You got a what-if?
Yeah, what if the British beat the Americans in the American Revolution? I mean, we would have the British currency. We would, we followed a lot of their stuff, but it would just be, we'd have the Queen we'd be looking after. We'd have their music and everything.
All right, you know what's the kind of an interesting thing about that? Sooner or later they would have let us go because literally you cannot keep an empire, really. You know what I mean?
True.
You have everybody together on it, and they learned that in Canada. They let go. Australia, you let go. You wonder if would we personally be less violent people? Because so much of our history is made of, hey, we're not going to take S from anybody. Look what we kicked out. We won this country on bloodshed. Instead of a kind of changing of the guards, like Canada did, where it went across from economically and for all purposes, it works better if you're on your own, but we continue trading. And it seems like Canada's a lot less violent than we are.
It's true. It seems like Canada's a lot less stressful. And if we'd adopted those same policies, like let's say the gun control policies, and the national health care policies.
But who knows whether we would have done that or not. But what I'm saying is, historically, are we thinking we have to be a little more violent than other places? Because that's the way we started with the ass kickers.
Because we proved our independence, and every day we're proving it still.
Yeah, I wonder.
I think we'd also be less competitive. You know, we wouldn't be doing as well financially. I don't think we'd be as big of a superpower as we were because...
Who would be bigger than us?
I don't know, maybe Russia, you know, maybe we wouldn't even gone into World War II, you know, and Germany would have been something else, you know.
Why wouldn't we have won in World War II? We'd still be allies with England.
Yeah, but I don't
backing up the empire.
I don't think we'd be a superpower, and you know, who knows? It could have changed the entire face of the world too. I mean, maybe you know, a smaller country now would have been bigger.
You're taking it as a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's a very good thing that we won out because I mean, when you beat off, you know, your
idiot.
Why are you going to start that?
When they beat the English, they, you know, it gave the sense of unity. It gave the sense of, you know, patriotism with the whole country. The whole country came together, as you know.
Not necessarily. A lot of people were on the side of Great Britain. A lot of them went to Canada or were run out of town. And, you know, not long after that, we ended up having a civil war less than 100 years later. So it did not bring us together really as one.
I think if we had stayed under British rule for a while, we probably would have learned a different role of being not so much subservient, but at least loyal to the empire instead of so independent. But I also think we would have definitely still become a superpower because this country and its natural resources, there's nothing like it on this planet.
Yeah.
We still, through natural means, would have become a superpower.
Well, I think also we wouldn't have had as much immigration also because they probably wouldn't, you know, British wouldn't allow us to have as much immigration because they wanted to be able to control us.
Canada and England are full of nothing but immigrants.
Australia, at least as much as us.
Yeah, well, I mean, eventually, yeah, but I think when we were building ourselves, when we were becoming such a, you know, an important country in the world, I think we wouldn't have had as much immigrants then.
Why?
I just think that it wouldn't have, you know, people wouldn't have been like, oh, you know, it's this new country, it's this new start for everyone.
It still would have been a new start, still would have been a new country. And Fez's point was they were coming here because the weather was better than Canada, and you had a good chance of having a farm and everything.
I think
or being a miner or whatever.
The country still would have grown. I don't think you would have been able to stop that as long as people were coming to the country. The country would have still grown.
Except for maybe less fatter, because we had more of that English cuisine. All right, we're going to take a break.
866-277-4969. Remember, pay attention to the bumper music when we come back from the commercials. Tonight we're playing Mikey D's Bumper Music Challenge. We got to hear the common theme in all the songs.
Where's our chicks at?
They should be coming in about a half hour.
All right, we're right back. We're running fast.
What the hell is that?
When you kiss me, even when you hold me tight, fever in the morning, fever all through the night.
It's the Ron and Fez Show. Pay attention to the bumper music. There's Ozfest 2003 tickets on the line with Mikey D's Bumper Music Challenge.
All right, so far I heard Cheap Trick, Motley Crue, and this is Madonna?
Yes, it is.
I'm only guessing songs that suck.
Sorry.
I think you're right, but maybe that's not the common factor we're looking for. At the end of the night, after we played all the bumper music, you'll have your chance to call in and win and give us the common theme to all the bumper music selections tonight. Winner gets to go to Ozfest 2003.
Do these come from CDs that Mikey owns?
Yes, it does.
We're getting some pizza tonight, Fuzzy.
Nice.
Which means Harry Elvis is going to be thumbing it.
Oh, great.
Somebody told me.
Thumbprints in the cheese.
Oh, yeah. I heard last night that you had a meal ruined.
Yeah.
By a listener.
Yeah, Al Dukes fan.
Oh, ADF.
Yeah, ADF. decided it would be, I don't know why he was pointing out to me, whenever I go out, I like to get my chicken tenders, my regular meal, and they come with 3 fine dipping sauces.
All infants love to get chicken tenders when they go into a restaurant.
I like my chicken fingers and my 3 dipping sauces. They put it in 3 little different compartments. It's perfect for me, the way I eat. ADF decides he's going to poke his finger right above each of my dipping sauces. I couldn't tell if the finger actually went in or not.
Now, he did this as a joke to you? He knows you don't like it, or?
I don't think he knew that I don't like people touching my food. I don't know if anyone likes people touching their food.
How would he end up on your plate is what I don't understand.
They was sitting at the next table, and my food was there, and he leaned over and poked his finger above my 3 dipping sauces.
Rory, you saw this happen?
Yeah, I did see it.
Why didn't you throw yourself over Fez's dipping sauce?
It all happened so fast. I just didn't know. I didn't know how to handle it.
Break his thumb if you have to. So, yeah, I finished my chicken fingers, but without my dipping sauces. I just had them dry. So I wasn't going back in my dipping sauces where Goggles Paisano had put his finger.
All right, I understand that he wears glasses.
Pretty thick one.
Where you got the goggles from, but what about Paisano?
That was that Fred Flintstone character when he was the race car driver.
No, I invited him in this week, too, so maybe you guys can talk.
Has to have plenty of dipping sauces.
And what happened to his girlfriend with the big jug?
I don't know.
Who was he with?
Remember, like a couple of weeks ago, he was with that girl, and he was all but TFing her?
Oh, okay. He probably put his finger in her food.
Well, not in her food, but it went in somewhere. All right. Do we have his number or anything?
I'll see if I can find it. I don't think so, but I'll check.
All right. Andy, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Hey, happy birthday, Fez.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
I was just calling around in regards to those what ifs. I was just thinking, what if we had actual documentary proof, like a video of Jesus' existence, somebody following him around like the disciples and such? Do you think it would make any impact on the way people live now?
All right. Now, you're saying that if we had video of
If you had actual video instead of just relying on faith in the Bible, written word, if you had video that you could watch on TV.
If we had proof that Jesus existed.
All right, here's one for you. People do not believe that we landed on the moon. You know what I mean? And that's got to be the most documented moment in the history of the world.
I saw that on the front page of the paper.
Do you think it make no difference?
People are going to believe what they want to believe anyway.
I got you. I was just wondering.
I mean, the weird thing is, like, suppose you had, like, a Superman come to the planet and was flying around. You would get used to it, even though it feels like now you wouldn't.
Right.
But if aliens, like, landed here and started trading with us, we'd be used to it in a couple of years.
And when it comes to Jesus, I mean, there's people that are going to say the Bible is proof that Jesus existed. And there's going to be people that say, no, it's not accurate or it's made up. So they're going to believe what proof there is anyway.
All right, Andy.
All right, guys, thanks.
See you later. I thought we were even done with this. Laszlo has a question for you, though, Fez. Laszlo, you're on the air.
Hey, Laszlo.
Hey, guys. Fez, remember there used to be a comic book called What If? And it had a watcher that looked into what, part of basic quantum mechanics has the whole all possible things that could happen, do happen.
Oh, that sounds cool. I don't remember this comic book, though.
Yeah, it's like, what if the Hulk had Bruce Banner's brain?
I think we're talking to the Hulk.
Or
what if Hulk had brain?
What if Spider-Man was part of the Fantastic Four? What if Spider-Man's uncle hadn't died, sort of thing? And it's quantum mechanics is it's kind of really scary stuff if you look at the science and stuff of it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember one time reading a comic book that had what if Superman was found by the Russians instead of Ma and Pa Kent in America.
Yeah, they had what if Krypton never exploded, sort of thing.
He probably would have never left.
Exactly.
And would be working for the Krypton newspaper.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
All right, man.
Peace.
See you later. Crazy stuff.
It's just nuts. It's mind-boggling.
Nutty, kooky, wacky Krypton stuff.
866-277-4969.